Do you feel that feeling other people's emotions can be a precursor to becoming a healer? Wait till you hear what happened when I encountered someone's major illnesses and how it became a catalyst for becoming an energy healer myself. Hi, I'm Eric, and welcome back to another exciting video from Dragonfly Awakening. I really began to understand how healing energy worked when I worked as a caseworker several years ago. One of the good things about this job was I was able to sit face to face with clients and help them. Working in family law presented me with clients who were often at their wits' end, sometimes even desperate. Providing them with reassurance in accordance with my legal role was nice, but eventually I started to notice that something else began to happen. At first it was simple. Sometimes all anyone really needs is a good ear to hear them out. Many walked away with tears of gratitude, even when I barely said a word. It was like they were finding something in the room that I myself wasn't aware of. Eventually, I started noticing that something was taking over. It wasn't me doing this. It was as if a more intense sense of awareness would jump in and call attention to its nature. It was presence. Sometimes I felt as if I had become the entire room. During this time, the tensions, boundaries, and negative emotions the client had would just dissolve away in this awareness, in this bubble of light. Whether it was someone who was up in arms or someone who was emotionally defeated, this presence that filled the room disarmed and consoled almost any person, anytime it was present. The accolades my boss and I received were humbling, though I really couldn't take credit for it. It was something greater than I. Other interesting things began to happen too. I never knew what caused it, but whether I would be talking to a client in the office or just someone I bumped into on the street, a moment would come when all of our boundaries just fell away and we became one. It was as if the image of us, two people standing on the street, became translucent, and our two separate identities and consciousness became one in just the highest and most brightest light, love, and happiness. It was like a cosmic hug. And as quickly as it happened, we both separated back into our bodies, paused mid-sentence, and were left speechless. I was used to energetic shifts because I had years of meditation under my belt, but something like this was different. The other person always shed a few tears from the experience. It was quite a profound moment to share with someone, even though it lasted just a few seconds. It was certainly an interesting time. At the time, working back in an office did have a downside, however. As departments consolidated office space and moved into a new building, we unfortunately all moved into one large cubicle farm. As time went on, I began to notice deep and dark emotions like anxiety, confusion, anger, even despair. I had never felt it at home, so I knew it had something to do with my office. It was just so odd. I had an amazing, gorgeous commute, and I'd get to work and feel like everything was doomed. Soon I noticed something. These feelings weren't present on certain days when certain people called out sick. Then it hit me. I was an intuitive empath. I tested this theory by getting up, walking around, and examined how the feelings changed as I walked down one row of cubes versus another, and one department versus another, and on to other buildings as well. The energies changed as I moved from one area to another in all cases. I became saddened when seeing into how some of my coworkers' unresolved emotions and traumas had first created mental illness and then physical illness. It became evident how it affected their thinking and general behavior. I was seeing into their shadows, their subconscious. I saw how if one particular person was willing to look at her painfully stored emotions, it would help her clear the energetic baggage she was carrying. This would help restore her mind, and then in turn, her body, to that of a healthier functioning. If she didn't, I didn't even want to know. Her body was already very heavily stressed. Since then, every day I greeted her with a bright smile and a silent, energetic blessing. I only hope that she found the love inside of her to improve her health. Others were not so complicated. Many simply carried their past experiences with them, which changed their psychology. I saw the weight inside of their mind and body like a stuck energy. I wanted so badly to help them release what they were holding so that they can find a new and lighter lease on life. But I never approached others in this way. I always respected everyone's path. But there were people of the light too. They were both religious and non-religious. Unlike many others, they were not aligned in the conceptual mind frame, perceiving all of life from the head. These amazing people were experiencing life fully from the heart, intuitively seeing the light and feeling the living love that radiates from their hearts. From hearts like these is so beautiful. People who naturally live life from the heart are naturally attenuated from the severity of life's problems. These are people who know that life can happen, but it can't change the love and peace they live in. Letting everything be as it is, while simply knowing that there is a higher purpose and lesson behind it all, are true masters. Now, it might be necessary to point out, seeing inside of others didn't create judgment in me. One might speculate that it could be triggering, but it was because of the lack of judgment that, through love, I was able to see them as they truly were. In fact, it conjured the deepest compassion and kindness in me. Paramahansa Yogananda said, "Within understanding lies freedom. In this light, all judgment dissolves." Seeing others' pain helps us to see why people behave the way they do. It is often the hurt that people carry inside of them that causes them to hurt others, even unknowingly. It also causes them to protect themselves so much that they remain distant and shut off from others. It now became clear that my own traumas that I experienced as a teenager were instrumental in helping me develop the ability to see, to learn, and to heal within myself and then in others. In some strange way, my own curses became gifts that I can share. This is the truest meaning of when Jesus said, "Love others as yourself," For in this oneness we become united and stronger. Being an empath, an intuitive empath, or a clairsentient empath can be a blessing or a curse. An empath is when one feels emotions that are not logically theirs. Some even take on energy from others as well. This can be toxic and even harmful. Being an empath can be increasingly taxing and require more reset time than others, and often in complete solitude. That was my case at the time. Some empaths just have a naturally open, subtle energy field, allowing them to perceive others' emotions and energies. Other empaths develop their high attunement during childhood. They grew up learning to track others' moods for safety, belonging, or harmony. This becomes an automatic radar in adulthood. An empath must learn a battery of things to transition it from controlling them to controlling it. This includes learning to properly ground one's energy and presence, learning how to cleanse our energy fields, learning different types of energetic protection, and of course, inner healing. Some core wounds can be so severe that they create holes in our energetic fields, which allow others' toxic energy, even parasitic entities, to seep through. Self-knowledge gained through meditation and emotional intelligence were the two biggest factors of strength for me. Stepping into an empowered role as an empath is a journey unto itself, but the reward always outweighs the efforts when we turn our struggles into strengths in service to others. In the next video, we'll be exploring how the power of belief plays a role in the healing process, different ways energy works through a healer, and most importantly, how exactly a healing process works. Also, if you're undergoing some life challenges, self-transformation, or spiritual awakening, you can book a one-on-one session with Julie or I for remote energy healing sessions and ascension guidance at www.dragonflyawakening.com. Until then, much light, love, and happiness to you always.